One more spot remains here for the Intel Extreme Masters Katowice as we are almost rounding out our qualification process, and it is one more Korean that will join the star-studded field that is already making their way to the LAN. I am here with Rotterdam for our final series of the day, best of 5, Dia versus Maru.
Our first DVP of the night.
Yeah.
Morning. Let's do it. I'm ready for it. They've already played against each other once in this qualifier. That was in the upper bracket, of course. And that's where Maru was victorious. But we've also seen some of Maru's DVP the other day. Maybe that was because it was cross-server. We saw him against Rogo. Lots of SCV pulling. Let's see if it's the same when he's going up against this man who's spawning in the left bottom side. It is Deer.
What a beautiful decal. And up to the top right-hand corner in the blue, it is Maru. Seen a lot of him today, playing for Jin Air Green Wings.
It's actually funny because we mentioned, an old story earlier in this cast about that WCS season finals we had back then in Toronto. And at that tournament, there was actually a series between Maru and Deer as well. And they had this game on Frost that at that time, I thought it was one of the most insane games I've ever seen, right? I was like, oh my God, the action doesn't stop. I was blown away. I think it was Heart of the Swarm. Yeah, it must have been Heart of the Swarm already. I just really thought it was one of the sickest games ever. And in my mind, it always was one of the sickest games ever.
Yeah.
And then a little while ago, Maru and Deer had another great game. So I watched that game and I was like, oh, it's pretty good. I was like, but it's definitely not as good as the other one on Frost. So I watched the game back on Frost and I was really disappointed. I was like, damn, we're actually so spoiled as StarCraft fans these days because we used to think that was the sickest game ever. And
yeah.
It was a good game, but you see a lot of those kind of games today.
Yeah, I like it in StarCraft now, especially since it's been basically 7 years or so since this really began with StarCraft II, where if you've been paying attention the entire time, it's been small little incremental improvements, tournament in, tournament out, and all of those built up to be insane games all the time compared to, say, 3 years back, 4 years back or so. I too have gone back and watched some old games. One thing that I like to do is go back and see like how GSL's games are from year to year to year.
Yeah. And
the change is so dramatic.
I mean, I just love GSL Season 1. If you look at that, you're like,
Zelnaga Caverns.
Yeah.
Idra's game against that guy that sniper rushed.
Just a lot of very funny games back then. With like these Void Ray all-ins, charging up on the rocks and stuff. It's
Oh
like,
yeah.
wow.
Charging up on rocks. You had to wait for the charge to activate.
You couldn't just activate prismatic alignment. You had to shoot on rocks for a little while. It was a cheese fest. It was amazing. I think anybody in Diamond League these days would win GSL.
That's right.
Season 1.
Yeah, probably.
But of course the game was like quite limited as well. So the things that a Diamond League player can do these days, like they have more chance to show off because Wings of Liberty was obviously a very still game compared to Legacy of the Void. It's funny to see, but Maru and Deer have been both good for years. We do have our Twilight console up and running, and we see Blink that's on the way. Maru is going to open up with a bunch of Stim Marines. Is this like a 2-1-1 opening, or does he have 3 barracks? It's 2-1-1, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, well, he doesn't really have a fact. Okay, it's 3 racks, just a late 3 racks. I mean, this is kind of the way that Maru has been playing lately. And I'm actually very curious to see how Deer deals with this. Because in this matchup, I actually struggle a little bit with these kind of openings from Terran. And I know I'm not allowed to say that because Protoss is really strong against Terran. I'm just talking from my personal experience.
Yeah.
Because, you're used to expanding and going up to 3 bases quite fast. And, you're like, defend against the mine drop. And mine drops are scary, or any drop can be scary, or Hellion run-bys, whatever. But you're so used to dealing with that when you start playing against, fast stim timings, you're just like, hey, what is this? Do I expand? Do I not expand? Do I go up to 3 bases? Do I stay on 2 a little bit longer? So I'm very curious to see how DR deals with it. I think one of the most ideal way to deal with it is just to stay on 2 bases a little bit longer, get Colossus, or maybe indeed get a very early Prism. The moment that the 3 Rex party moves out, maybe you can do some counter damage almost immediately. But I would say just delay your 3rd base a little bit. But some people disagree with me and say like, no, even against 3 Rex, you can just go 3 bases as quick as you always do it. 4 minutes, 50 seconds, let's go. I was like, all right, well, I want to see it.
Well, Maru at the moment on his side of the field doesn't really know exactly what's going on. He hasn't got much intel on his opponents inside the base. So he has a turret at the front as well as a bunker to try and keep himself locked down. So he's really covering all of the angles that could potentially hit him. for strategy-wise, I suppose I should say. And there is a Warp Prism, having loaded up a few Stalkers into that as well, that are going to be heading towards the main base. Might be a little bit exposed at the moment because there's not that many Marines out in the front of the base. A lot of them are moving out into the middle of the field right now.
Now we do have that Robo base, so that's kind of in the line that I was thinking, right? To stay on 2 bases, go for a Colossus. 'Cause I think if you have a Guardian Shield and a Shield Battery and a Colossus, you're sitting on 2 bases, and you have an early Prism. Man, 3 Stalk is actually quite cute as well, because you can one-shot STVs. This is a very cute little drop. I like it a lot.
Too bad, 4 workers go down. That being said, those Marines got spotted actually in the middle of the map by that Observer, but he doesn't have anything back here in time to be able to deal with it fully. And that shield battery does not help that out quickly enough.
A lot of Marines. I mean, you really need to micro your Stalkers here a little bit. That's exactly what Deer does. He does blink in with the other Stalkers as well. I would say this was relatively all right for Maru, but we can't forget that he lost a bunch of SUVs at home, and that is the part which is quite painful.
Definitely is. The Warp Prism going down as well means that the capabilities here for Deer are not that great to get across there and put on pressure. But at least these Stalkers have blink, so they could be annoying at the front. And now he's really covering all of this at the back. But again, the Warp Prism died, so doesn't need to have that much in the back.
Yeah, I think Maru would have loved to get a few more probes, especially against those players that stay on 2 bases a little bit longer. Even though this 3rd base was still quite fast, don't get me wrong. I think if he would have been able to get 7 or 8 probes there, that really does hurt Protoss, and that really does slow things down. Stalkers are expensive, but as long as Protoss is rich, they can just replace Stalkers over and over again, obviously.
Widow Mines being added on. Yeah, to the Bioforce with their concussive shells about to finish up for those Marauders, helping them out considerably against something like that Stalker force, which has retreated. So, looks like this is going to be in for the long haul here. Dia's got himself set up across those 3 bases with Colossi coming out.
A tiny bit surprised to see Widow Mines on the production tab this early. Would make a lot of sense if Dia would stay on like a low gas build and make a bunch of Zealots. I mean, we all know that Zealots are very good as well together with Blink Stalkers, but since this is a fast Colossus build, I'm not sure if Widow Mines is really the way you want to go immediately. But of course you can maybe get a little bit of a contain going, and if you can get those mines close enough to maybe a pack of sentries, then obviously it's cash money. But I'm not sure if Deer is going to allow it.
Yeah, I mean he has the Observer still following this army behind it, so he has a good opportunity to be able to shut them down, unless the scan drops right now and he does kill that off, but so far is unknown to him.
Of course, this will be a best of 5 once again, guys. You can always see that in the bottom of the screen as well. We do have charge on the way, but this is going to be quite late. You know, I think that these Colossus can just poke a little bit. There's not a single Immortal actually in this army, and that makes it a little bit scary. Force fields are probably not good enough, but there are a couple of Zealots just slicing away at those Marines, though.
Yeah, that Bio really went in very aggressively. A 3rd Colossus is out as well now. This Bio has no chance. He's going to have to retreat.
Few more Marauders coming in, few more Marines coming in. This army still doesn't have an Immortal in the mix. The Stalkers deal quite a bit of damage on those Marauders as well. Good micro, though, by Deer. Saves all of his Colossus, but he did lose a lot of Gateway units, and they are not for free.
Yeah, they're definitely not. Losing the Colossi would have been a disaster, though, so it's actually keeping those alive is going to give him that transitionary method in a moment.
He's immediately adding an Immortal to his army, which I think makes a lot of sense when you already have 3 or maybe even 4 Colossus by now. And since Maru was already getting quite Marauder heavy, you know what's always art is when Colossus start attacking Marauders. I think these days...
Oh! He has Blink.
Oh, and he focuses the empty one.
Oh.
Yeah, he gets the other one as well, but he's going to pay the price. I mean, in the end, this was 2 medevacs for like 4 Stalkers or so. Damn. How did you pick the empty one?
Bit unfortunate. Meanwhile, all these units praising the holy missile turret. So they're all rallied to that location. But now they're going to move out and reinforce. And they're all reinforcing down towards the south here. So they're not exactly in a location where they can try and hit this healthy base.
That's nice. A little bit of Liberator arrest. 5 probes going down.
Yes, all right.
Maru is still macroing behind all of this. He's not that many workers behind us. Ooh, Colossus are derping. You see this?
They're very stuck. Yeah, that wall off to stop Reapers is going to come back to hurt him if he has to reinforce in the middle of the base, unless he manually moves the Colossi from natural to then main.
Yeah, Colossus are very silly units anyway.
Yeah.
We've got a new Warp Prism showing up in the main, and it's immediately going to do quite a bit of damage as 5 SCVs have fallen, and these Zealots are not even done yet. Maru seems that he wants to just counter with aggression as he's being active with units on the north side of the map. I think it's quite risky. against all these Blink Stalkers, but let's see if he's going to be able to find an opening.
There comes that drop into the main that we were mentioning before. There is an observer or unit down here. What is that? I can't. Okay, it's a Zealot. Does it give him the heads up?
I think yes, here in the bottom. He should catch a glimpse. What? Really? Not what?
No. Guardian shields up.
I mean, forward Blink is going to push a couple of these units back. Was that a Widowmine or did he just shoot at his own unit? Here we do have that big drop in the main base. Maru finds a sweet spot that's going to make it hard for these Zealots to be very effective against all these bio units. Next to the Robo, next to the Templar Archives as well, next to the Robo Bay, but I don't think he's going to get all of them.
That'd be phenomenal if they'd have got a bit more than that. And he actually does have the Observer there, so he can kill off some of the Applix forms off. Doesn't get that later back.
I mean, Maru is still hanging in there though in a PvT. He's only down 11 supplies. Storm is on the way, but I think their biggest weakness right now is a severe lack of vision. And he just lost his Robo, which means that there is always a good chance that Maru can catch him out of position again.
Does he have enough of the Robo units though to just have the Templar Archives be the next play? 3 Colossi, 2 Immortals?
I mean, I think you always want to have a Robo.
Yeah, I agree.
Just for observers, for prisms, as he just loses that prism. I mean, that also gives Deer the heads up that the Vikings are out. And if Deer has any intentions of being very aggressive, he changes his mind real fast.
Yeah, definitely. So it's going to take a little bit of a longer time now to get that replenished, get that going. Storm is about to finish up. There's a lot of AoE potential in that army now with the 3 Colossi and Storms.
This feels like a big army, though, for Maru.
Yep, it does.
I mean, Storm is done. I think we have 3-4 Storms available. This is a nice little run by as well. Very annoying. Maru thinking he doesn't have to worry about this because he took care of the War Prism and surprise, surprise, 4 random Zealots show up. First Storm mostly connects with his Zealots. He once again, James, pulls a couple of the boys. And Maru already doesn't have that many boys at home.
No, it definitely doesn't. Yeah, they're all kind of stuck and derping behind all of this army, though. Now they get brought to the forefront, but those Storms keep hitting, and they keep hitting big. And that's doing quite a lot of damage, weakening things up for the Colossi, but the Vikings are still doing their job that they need to do. Some of these Stalkers at the back aren't really actually firing at that bio, not even at the Vikings at all. That's going to be GG, though, for Maru. Dia will take game number 1.
Looked like a close fight for a long time, but the Zealots ravaging everything on the other side of the map. If you look back at this fight, you're wondering, like, Maru, with the drop in the main, you had the choice between the Robo and the Templar Archives. And I think if he picks up the Templar Archives, then obviously there's no Storm. And that was quite a close fight. I mean, Colossus are good, but just 3 Colossus against that many Marauders with only 1 or 2 Immortals in the mix. You know, I think that was hope. Then again, maybe Archons instead, or extra Colossus if you go for the Templar Archives.
But you bring up a very valid point. I mean, like, how much damage did those Storms
Those
do?
Storms were key.
It's not just the damage that the Storms are doing to the bio, it's the fact that then your opponent has to be microing so many of those units out.
Yep.
You're losing damage during that time, where Protoss has a lot of long-ranged abilities and damage.
Those lasers keep on going, James.
There you go.
The lasers don't stop.
No, they don't. The party never stopped with Protoss.
We'll see. Game number 2 is going to be played on Abyssal Reef. I do think Abyssal Reef is one of the better Terran maps out there right now in the current map pool. I think Battle of the Boardwalk is, if we see it, a must-win for Maru. But I think it's probably going to get vetoed by Deer. But then, you know, Abyssal Reef is a map where certain pushes can still be very effective. And we obviously know about the tanks on the low ground and stuff. So maybe there's hope.
Maybe. But Deer at the moment looking to make it that 1-1-1 advancing in race-wise to Katowice.
Yeah, and we had the perfect balance yesterday. If we go 2 for 2 on the perfect balance, I don't want to see a Reddit thread this week about balance, guys.
No.
Not even during Leipzig. If the entire top 8 plays Protoss, I just don't want to see it.
No.
It's never going to happen anyway.
No way that's going to happen.
No, I mean, we know Europe. Europe Zergs dominate.
Yeah, welcome to Zergland. All right, let's get into game number 2 here. Dia currently leads 1-0 as we continue down the line into Abyssal Reef, up to the top left, in the red, representing the Heroes of the Storm decal. It is Dia.
And in the right bottom side, representing Super Mario. As he's collecting beautiful stars, it is Maru. Of course, representing Jin agreements, guys.
You know, in the newest Mario game, you collect moons.
I did not know that.
There you go.
I have not played a Mario game since Mario Sunshine.
Really? That's a long time.
I did like that one.
Oh, yeah, Sunshine's actually really good. Sunshine, the weird thing about it was that a lot of people, when it was released, were like, yeah, this isn't that good. But then, over time, people came to appreciate it a lot more.
I think it was a very happy game. That's how I remember it.
Yep, it's a good
It's
game.
just one of these games that you sit, you play, you don't really think about anything. Lots of happiness. Shoot some water around.
That's most single-player games. That's what you do. You're like, ah, this is fun. Wah! Unless it's your first time on Dark Souls, then I'm sorry. Oh God, actually no, this was you that we had this conversation with, but you didn't appreciate it. Never mind.
I mean, Dark Souls is hard, but it's definitely not as hard as Geometry Dash, that's for sure.
Oh God.
That is the hardest game on planet Earth.
I'm just waiting for the Maynard tweet.
My entire trip to Korea was ruined by my addiction to Geometry Dash.
The best bit was when you spilt the coffee.
I was obsessed with that game. That game sucked me in and I couldn't put it down. I haven't had RSI from like playing Warcraft and StarCraft for 12 hours a day, but my hands and wrists were hurting. That's how addicted I was to Geometry Dash. I couldn't hold my phone up anymore.
So I don't know if this story was ever told on a broadcast before. It must have been, but you enjoyed that game so much.
I didn't. I was addicted.
I get okay. You weren't enjoying it, but you were still playing it.
Yes.
We were in the OGN halls waiting to cast eventually or get our room. Rotterdam finishes a level after hours of trying. In elation, jumps up, knocks his coffee over all over an OGN carpet. He's still smiling about this. Tries to go and find something to clean this up, but he's still so happy that he's won this game. He doesn't care that much about the coffee. It went everywhere.
That game, it controlled my life for 2 weeks.
It did. It was.
But I did cut it off. You know, my name is Kevin. I went to a group. I said I'm addicted to Geometry Dash, and they helped me.
Geometry Dash Anonymous.
It was great. I've never installed it again.
There you go.
I live a very clean, free life right now. With no more frustrations. All right, so we have a Stargate opening here for Deer. Maybe it has something to do with the map. Abyssal Reef obviously plays out quite different than Blackpink. Stargates can still be quite useful, but Oracles are not as good anymore against SCVs as they used to be. So, I don't know, maybe it's just for some scouting purposes, maybe just be annoying, drop some Revelation. I actually think that Maru is going to be quite happy with the fact that this is a Stargate, since he's not opening up with 3 barracks this game, but he's actually opening up with a Mind Drop.
And that Viking will help out and aid, pushing the Oracle away eventually.
I say Mind Drop, but I mean, he has a Widow Mine. He's actually making a Cyclone and a Viking.
The Mine.
Maybe this is going to be one of those silly tank pushes without stim.
Maybe. The
Could
Mine
work.
placed in an arbitrary location. Is it north? Right now, is that Mine north?
Probably north of the secondary.
Oh,
Oh my god. Maru!
Whoa,
He knew. He saw it.
Oh, the reactions.
Dear. He's crazy. Fly in. I think he did it on purpose, right? He must have.
Yeah, he must have. He must have been watching that and then just diverted it.
The 2 additional gates go down. There is now another Oracle out on the map, so we've got 2 Oracles. But I don't think Deer's going to be very happy with the fact that there's already a Viking out. So I think we're going to see some stasis wards, that's for sure. He's going to drop one there. That would make definitely some sense. Maru's already moving out. It's just Marines and Cyclones, right? He doesn't even have a tank.
Is there any units on the other side?
Yeah, 2
Apart from
Oracles.
the 2 Oracles.
We've got a couple of Adepts.
It's not the greatest of defensive forces, though, to be honest.
Now this is very nice, and Deer has absolutely no idea that this is happening.
Yeah.
So Maru looking to score some success in this best of 5 against that scary Protoss player that is Deer.
Bunker as well.
Even throws up a bunker. But just a single Cyclone though, you almost feel, okay, I guess I landed Viking. And a couple of mines, well, good luck, have fun. This Nexus is gone. You can maybe attack the mines, but I think that Deer is just going to have to sacrifice his base. There's no way he keeps it alive.
I think that as much as losing it is a bit of a blow to Deer, I think it's good patience from him to pull back and just say, I'm not fighting. Stalker's come out to try and aid this.
Losing the pylon is going to get
Pick
quite
up.
painful though. He's going to be supply blocked. The mine drop is heading towards the main.
Will it do much? Probe gets pulled off. 3 workers.
Could have been worse.
Picks up, gets out. Stalker's warping in.
Blink is not done yet, so this Medevac is actually going to live for now. Well done there by Maru, getting a little bit of lost mining time, getting 3 probes, and still getting out there with all the mines as well. That's what you're hoping for. Solid opening here by Maru. Excellent build.
Not too bad at all. Liberator's going to follow this up. What's that unit in the very middle of the map? That blue one. Ah, Marine shut in the shrubbery.
You thought it was a Widow Mine?
Yeah, maybe, but not to be.
I mean, Maru has to be very happy with how this game opened up. I mean, he got the Nexus, he got a pylon there, got a little bit of probe damage, kept all of his units alive, took 0 damage from the Oracle. I honestly don't think there's much more that he could ask for. Maru trying to trick the Oracles there.
Yeah, close. But no cigar.
And this also means that maybe this opens the door for some Liberator harass.
Could be. There's one in the back. Sneaking about. I was about to say sharking around, but it's very apt for this map, actually.
Hanging with the fishes.
Yeah.
If he was at a poker table, you're having a good time with all those fish.
Want to be swimming with the fishes if he gets killed off, though.
He's not, because now he knows where the army is. Well done.
Yeah.
I really like this by Maru. I mean, obviously a lot of players do this, but you just kind of wait and see where your opponent's forces are. You spot the Phoenix, you spot the Stalkers, you're like, all right, this is my moment. You move in, you get a few more workers, a little bit of lost mining time. This is well done. I know I say a little bit of lost mining time, but this is a lot of lost mining time.
Yeah, it definitely is. Phoenix now having to clean this up with the Stalker. Doesn't get the kill.
At least it's some real damage.
Yep.
Deer is up 7 workers, but for multiple moments throughout this game, he has not been able to enjoy this economic lead at all.
No.
I love how the cleaning ladies are entering the building. You know it's early, James, when...
Damn it! This is the life we lead! Alright, so Templar Archives even starting up. Third base secured by Maru. Deer, for all intents and purposes, for all the damage he's taken, he's not doing too badly in this game. 64 workers, 40 army supply.
The problem is his real power units are not here yet.
Yeah.
I mean, I know he has Blink, he's getting charged, but I feel Blink and charge is very good against Terran, but upgrades are key. You need to be at least even, preferably always one set of upgrades ahead. He's going to be down in upgrades, and Zealots and Stalkers are good, but if you're down in upgrades, they're not that good. Now, of course, there's this beautiful thing called Storm, which will ignore all your upgrade problems.
He just littered the map with stasis wards, though. So that's going to actually buy quite a bit of time if the Terran wants to push out for him to get to the Storm, to an extra big body of units that he wants.
Maru should plant like 4 units on all 4 stasis wards. That would be beautiful and very sad for Deer.
Yeah.
Maru. You gotta be... It is a little bit scary when you know there are 2 Oracles out on the map, you haven't killed them yet. Now Deer is gonna be active in the middle of the map as well. He's gonna... Oh, these Stalkers are actually on track to perhaps intercept.
That's one. Stalkers, calm down.
I mean, they're obviously gonna try to lure these bio units into the next stasis ward. Gets the Viking there, that's kinda cute.
Yeah, nice, nice.
Maru doesn't have a tank there, that's a big problem. Storm did just finish up, and there is still that Prism on the right top side as well. The next minute in this game is going to be very crucial.
Yeah.
Can Maru limit the damage he takes from that Prism, and does he have enough to really threaten Deer's expand here?
One siege tank has now rendezvoused with this army. There's 4 storms available, or 3 even, I should say, right now from those High Templars. There's been scanned, and they don't want to get caught in that almost cul-de-sac-like area.
Oh, he's going to use Hallucinated Phoenix to trigger a mine, and he did, but... didn't do too much damage.
There's too many mines there. If you want to keep trying that, though, is the problem.
Oh, that's a lot of Zealots in the main as well. Deer is doing some serious damage, but of course Maru is going to be able to do quite a bit of damage as well. Deer, meanwhile, went back up that ramp. Does he have any Storms left now? I have the feeling he dropped quite a few of them already. These Zealots are just not dying yet.
4 workers come down.
Oof. Zealots show no mercy. Deer is losing quite a few workers as well, but Deer has a 4th base. Maru did just scan it, and he's like, all right, there's no way I can allow you to mine up this 4th base, because that means you're going to get 30, 40 additional Zealots that I really don't want you to have. 3 Archons on the way as well. Maru is close to getting his 2-2 upgrades, but I'm not sure if Deer is going to give him the time.
Sneaking in some of this bio as well to the back of that mineral line means that it's helped and assisted by those siege tanks in the back.
The thing is, this War Prism harassed bought so much time for Deer that Maru needs those units here with this push, this game-ending push, and I'm not sure if Maru right now has enough. Good kiting away from the storms at least, but this is a pretty big Protoss army.
There's a lot of storms still available. 2 or 3 in those High Templars is going to force field some of those units in, kill off the siege tanks up at the top. Deer, 40 supply ahead now. A lot of that is in workers, and then from there, he's going to be sitting pretty economy-wise.
Yeah, that's not a problem at all if all of that is in workers. He's still building 4 pros at a time as well. He's got Storm. He's not just ahead economically, he's got Storm as well. He's got a couple of Immortals.
Yeah.
That War Prism was the real MVP. Those Zealots just bought so much time and not only did a lot of damage, they also kept the reinforcements at home. If Maru can take that fight with like 20 additional supply of bio, I think he can actually just kite and win. But he, he just missed it.
Yeah, he needs it right now. It's going to be difficult to really hold off against this kind of push. Guardian Shield goes up. Here comes the commitment from Dia.
Storm drop. Ooh.
Yeah, they're in that Warp Prism. Going to drop them forward. That has full energy, that High Templar as well. Not to mention anything else, as this fight is going to ensue. Down to the bottom left-hand corner, not much bio left. Storm goes on some of those. We're going to see feedbacks on towards the medevacs, draining them out, and that is 2-0 to Dia right now. 1 game away from the Intel Extreme Masters.
Dia looking mighty fine in this last series of the day. Obviously not there just yet, and earlier today Maru did defeat Dia, so it is possible. But in these 2 games, I felt the second game, I really felt almost everything was going Maru's way.
Yeah.
Took 0 damage from the Oracles. Got a good cancel on the Nexus. He got a Python there as well. Did a little bit of probe damage without even losing the mines at first. That's an excellent start. And then unfortunately, he couldn't close it out.
We're going to go full circle, Roddy. We're going to have to go back to, if anybody can pull this back.
Again.
It's Maru!
Well, last time we did that, I mean, he did pull it back, but then he still lost. So maybe we should say we just have absolutely no faith in Maru turning this around.
If anybody can go to 2-2, it's Maru!
I mean, he's shown that before, and he took 2 maps earlier against Deer. Essential to Ire is the next map, though, and I always feel like that's such a tough map for Terran versus Protoss.
Yeah.
I know there are some Terrans out there, it's like, oh, it's not that bad, but I honestly think that this is one of these maps where Protoss can just kind of sit back, spread out their observers, play Blink with a Robo, take all the bases, and Terran is going to be forced to push, push, push. And if Deer defends and transitions, I am not sure if Maru can do it.
All right, well, we're getting the countdown going. This could be the last match of the night. Huge thank you so far for sticking around with us throughout all of this. Even if you're up in Europe alongside us, staying up through the night.
Then let us know. If you've been here watching us all night, guys.
Yeah.
If you're like, I have to go to university in 1 hour, but I watch StarCraft all day. We don't recommend that, but that would be very cool for just one time.
If you were, going to university soon, or perhaps catching a flight at 9 a.m., kudos to you.
I'm happy that I can still sleep a little bit before I have to head to the airport.
Yeah.
I am an old man, in the old days, these night shifts, they didn't bother me.
No problem.
But I think it's a lot because we had a regular shift like the day before.
Yeah,
If we have this 4 days in a row, it wouldn't be that hard. You get used to it.
Yeah, it's very different.
Anyways, this could potentially be the last game of the day, the last game of this studio for quite some time. Hopefully it's not, though. Hopefully this man can bring it back. Representing Jinnah Green Wings, it is Maru.
And down to the bottom right-hand corner in the red, it is Dia. 1 game away.
I definitely hope we get to see at least one more game.
Yep.
TVP, I haven't seen any TVP at all. And I feel really bad if Maru, after earlier defeating Dia, would fall 0-3 right now. So I hope he brings it back. It's going to be tough.
That's how it goes, though, man. It's the double limb curse.
I honestly don't know what's the best build on this map for Maru. I would maybe say Mind Drop into just a 5 Rex 2 base all-in parade push, Marine tank. I don't know. I think everything else is... It's really hard to pull it off on this map.
Dia wants to get over quickly now.
It's hard to say what makes this such a good Protoss map exactly, but it's more just that if you have 4 observers, you see almost everything.
Yeah.
And the first medevac drop, if Terrans do open up Mind Drop and they don't open 3 Rex, but even if they go 3 Rex, the first attack from Terran is a solid 5 to 10 seconds later than it is on other maps, which often means an extra stalker, which often means it's a little bit easier to scout. And, Terran kind of needs to keep Protoss in check with a crazy Chrono boost. And if Terran is not able to do any sort of economic damage or slow the Protoss down, Protoss just snowballs.
Maru's having none of this probe, just blocking the exact position. So we'll just drop it a little slightly off and then just pick it up and get back to work. And by that time the Reaper will be out anyway, so no many delays there for Maru.
Couple additional probes on the...
Oh, stuck around. He's still there.
Yeah. That can actually go back right now. If it shows up at this point, it's actually quite annoying because now the Reaper is not in position. And that means that this probe can start working on this STV. And the last thing you ever want if you're Maru right now
the
is...
Reaper's coming back.
Yeah, that's just super annoying. Otherwise, he's going to have to pull. It takes a long time before he has a unit out, so he kind of needs to keep the Reaper here. At the same time, there's an adept shading on the other side of the map. This probe not only slowed down the command center a little bit. Not only forced lost mining time, it also got the greatest scout off that you could ever wish for as a Protoss.
Yeah. This is...
He really wants to get the SCV. If he gets it, Maru would leave, so I'm glad he doesn't. Maru would be like, oh, come on.
we don't need that.
Now the Adept is going to try to sneak by as well. Imagine if he would have avoided the Reaper and he would have shaded right when the factory was going to be switched.
That would be annoying.
That would have been very sad. Orbital is morphing in the wrong spot. But one Adept is not going to get too much done here. And is indeed a Blink opening. I am not surprised to see that. I honestly feel that Blink is by far the best opening on this map.
Can be powerful.
And I think against it, you should be playing 3 racks, even if it is a very long map, and even if it is hard to run your units across the map and somehow do damage. You know, by the time that the first medevac shows up, Blink is not going to be done yet, but it's going to be quite close. The probe actually delayed everything, so maybe it will barely be done. But there's a good chance you're going to have to go up against 5 or 6 stalkers, and that is just not a pleasant spot to be in.
2 extra gateways get added on thanks to, with the Robo in tandem. And then from there, we will have the mine drop coming along. But Stalkers might be able to shut that down pretty easily as long as he spreads his probes once that gets dropped.
Yeah, probably have 4 Stalkers in the main, 2 in the natural. No shield batteries, by the way. I'm a little bit surprised by there. Like, I think if Maru would have seen that this is a no shield battery play, I think what he would have really loved to do is just drop 6 Marines in the mine in the main and have 4 Hellions in the natural. I actually think that would have been very successful.
Raven being added on too here for this little siege tank marine number that's going to pile up. Here it comes. Where are the units?
Oh, they're all the way in the natural. So this mine drop there is not reacting yet. I think Maru should on-throw. I wish that he would have on-throw.
Save some time.
Just for a few seconds, but at the same time, he doesn't want to take damage. I mean, there you have it. Blink is already done. And this medevac, well, at least it's safe. Yes.
Ooh.
That's actually kind of annoying for Deer as well. In a way, this is ultra annoying because you can never really pull those units away.
Yeah.
They're always going to be there. Obviously, it's best for Maru too because he can't use them. But
Stalker's going to live up to the name in that corner.
And stalk the medevac.
That's right. Robo Bay on the way as well as Forge.
Cheeky Kalaris.
That's right, man. That's what I do.
That bunker going down. Seems like Maru is a tiny bit paranoid about potential aggressive Blink plays, but that's not going to be the case. Deer is playing this out differently than I expected. He's going for a Forge and he's going for a Robo Bay. Not really rushing up to those 3 bases, even though 5 minutes and 30 seconds is obviously not late. Is there War Prism Morass going on, or an attempt?
Yeah, can't really get in too easily. Dual reactors on the way for Maru as well. It really wants to crank out that production very, very soon. And the Observer's going to position itself at the front as well, getting good information as to whether or not the attack's going to come.
The Stalkers will get unloaded and should be able to get a couple of SCVs once again. I actually really like this 3 Stalkers drop by Deer.
Yeah, it's not something I really thought about too much, but looks good.
It looks excellent. It's
Yeah.
a lot of free guaranteed kills, and Marines are actually very afraid to engage.
Oh, the Raven helped get the Observer. Good job.
Yeah, that's something. Missile turret as well. So Maru is still on 3 barracks, correct? Or is he on 5 barracks already?
I think he's on 3 because he's got 2 more orders on the way.
So what is it going to be? I guess if you want to go 5 barracks, they would have already been up by now. Just, I don't know. I've got a bad feeling about this game for Maru. Some people would obviously say, well, Roddy, StarCraft versus Protoss, what do you expect? I had a bad feeling all along. I get it, guys. I get it. This is going to be tough, man.
Yeah.
I think like if a similar game like this happens on Abyssal or Battle of the Boardwalk, I'm like, oh, you know, comes down to the execution. If you can catch the Prism, that would be very useful. But on Ascension to Ire,
the production's going to run away for Dia. Look at it. Extra gateways going down. Colossi already out.
But he did play very safe. I'm actually shocked at how safe Deer played. At 48 probes only. But I'm also shocked at the way that Maru is playing this. I think he misread it a little bit. I honestly think that Maru thought Deer was going to Blink Stalker all in him. But that has not been the case. And now Maru's like,
I mean, yeah, with Bunker and Siege Tank on the high ground. Kind of telling. Stalker's just being irritating at the front. He loses 1, but buys a small bit of time before this push comes out.
Yeah, with 51 workers, I do think Deer is going to have a tough time. Once again, we're in a similar position where there is no Immortal in this first army. A couple of the boys being pulled here as well. Maru is just going for it. Kind of shocked that he doesn't have feel like he could have 5 racks. He's still Marauder heavy, but I guess that's just what he wants. He feels like the Marine heavy style is not going to work against this fast Colossus play of Deer. I like what Deer is doing though, high-fiving this army in the middle of the map.
Right.
Because it's going to buy time, and Deer knows it. Every second that goes by, there's a good chance he gets another Immortal or a few extra gateway units. But Maru is not wasting any time either. He's going to actually sort of like close Deer out of his own natural.
Yeah, this is a very, very bold play here as he's going to come into this location. Those Widow Mines at the front, though, not really doing too much against the Zealot numbers at the front. Actually, a little bit of friendly fire. Oh, the Raven! Oh, shutting down the 2 Colossi at the back.
Wow, what a play there by Maru. Temporarily immobilizing these Colossus, now actually killing the Immortal as well. The Interference Matrix, how many of them does he have? He used all 4, 2 on the Colossus, 2 on the Immortals. And just like that, Maru stomps that army. I mean, that army without Colossus and Immortals suddenly becomes quite weak.
Yeah. There you go, guys. Maru solved TVP. Just, no, probably not.
With 1 2-base push in the Raven, I think if we make that statement, we're going to get a lot of angry Terran fans at our hotel today. But well done, great execution.
Yep.
I was quite worried at first, but I don't think that Deer should have ever let him go up that ramp. I think Deer should have.
Right, that was.
You know, you always want to keep him as far away from your natural and main as possible. So let him push on the north side of the 3rd base. Worst comes to worst, you can always like pull the probes from that base if you feel like you just need a few more seconds for some extra zealots and stuff. And also Deer's macro this game was questionable because he was actually at 45 probes when Maru was at 45 STVs as well for the longest time.
Even.
And then he just stayed at 49. Well, you know, Maru didn't do much, guys. Like, he mind dropped once, and then he just sat back, and he was banking on that Raven energy. If Deer is chrono boosting probes throughout, like, that cycle in the game, he's up 18 workers.
Yep, yeah. Bit of an odd one there for Deer, unfortunately for him, but Catalyst will be our next map here, and it's good to see Maru get one on the board. And again, by pulling the boys, getting them out there, just a few.
Yeah, not too many, just a couple here and there. It's been working quite well for him, actually. I feel like he has a decent win record with it.
Yeah. So I saw it quite a bit in our qualifiers over the past couple of weeks now. And I think that even though the boys were there, the MVP, definitely that Raven.
Yeah.
Considering
4
the power it did.
interference matrix, 2 on the Colossus, but 1 Immortal. It's really funny as well, because the moment the Raven dropped the spell, it reminds me of a spell in a MOBA game that I used to play, and I forgot the name of it. But it's like basically you put a spell on a hero, and then the hero just goes crazy for like 4 seconds. It goes like, just runs around. You know, you lose control of the hero at all, and it just like runs across the screen.
Kind of like confusion.
Yeah, exactly. You know, that's kind of what it is. And to me, it kind of feels like when Interference Matrix is being dropped, that's exactly what happens. You see the Immortals like... Alrighty, let's get ready to hop into game number 4 between Maru and Deer. Are we going to see one more best of 5 go to the final game? You know, James, I know it's late. I know you're tired. But we came this far, so we may as well hope for a game 5.
We may as well.
Looking at the main base of our Jin Air Green Wings Terran, it is Maru.
Da-da-da. With the happy star. And out of the bottom right-hand corner in the red, we have Deer.
Do you think he actually likes Heroes of the Storm?
He may. I remember a lot of the Korean pros played it for quite a while. Jaedong was actually one that played a lot of it.
Yeah, he liked it?
Yeah, he really enjoyed it.
What did he play?
I know. One Home Story Cup, he stole Todd's account and played Abathur on it.
Yeah.
On ladder. Because Zerg, obviously, makes sense. And apparently, Jaedong lost like 8 games in a row in Hero League on ladder on Todd's account. And Todd wasn't best pleased.
Todd didn't know?
No, he did know. Afterwards, he knew.
Okay.
He didn't know what else it was going on. So there you go. I mean, if Jaedong's going to hijack your account, you know, whatever. It's a good story to tell later on, I suppose.
You didn't expect a little more of Jaedong.
Yeah, yeah.
Was he playing 1v5 though?
No, he wasn't quite Flash levels.
You know the good old meme, right? Of
yeah.
Flash. The other player did a really good job controlling all 5 heroes. I wish, you know, that he could actually do that.
That'd be sick.
But that's impossible.
Yeah.
MOBAs are intense as well. They're just intense in a very different way.
Who else played quite a bit? Parting played quite a bit. And he would always message me saying, I'm going to go Heroes Pro. And I'm like, Best of luck to you, Party. Now he's coming back to StarCraft, right?
Yeah, he's been streaming quite a bit.
Yeah.
The big boy, he's back. Hosted him a couple times already as well. I love watching Parting. It's really cool to watch his stream as well because he's obviously a tiny bit out of touch with the meta, but he's just kind of bulldozing, you know, his way through. He's like, Blink Stalkers are good. Time for a comeback, you know. There's one thing that Parting definitely did not forget. It's how to use Blink Stalkers.
Yeah. What's the rally point on that gateway, by the way? If we just go to the gateway, where's the rally point? Okay, so.
Otherwise, the Zealot could have been stuck.
Yeah.
Or Adept, excuse me.
I was just making sure.
It's okay though. That's why David's game gave us War Prisms.
Yeah, I suppose. To get stuck units
Are
out
you
of there.
sick and tired of your Immortals being stuck?
In some weird robo placement between gateways.
Do you also feel sad when you have to destroy your pylons? Worry no more. Here is the War Prism.
That nobody used for a good part of StarCraft 2. And then everyone was like, actually, this isn't bad.
War Prism, I think, is one of the absolute best units that the Protoss Arsenal has to offer.
Especially with the rage they can pick up units at now.
Yeah, that was an insane buff.
Yeah.
It's kind of just still in there.
Yeah.
I know that the Zergs are not too happy about it. Neither are the Terrans.
They'll continue to not be happy with it, I think.
Reaper is being quite annoying as that first Adept did shade to the other side of the map. Now Maru is going to try to get a cheeky kill. Once again, it's his target opening. The Reaper did see that, right? Yeah, the Reaper made a full circle on the main base. So it must have seen it.
Yep.
You're engaging the opponent.
Time to raise my APM.
That's how she does it. Good job, Diva.
Good old Diva. Is Diva being played a lot in the Overwatch League?
I don't know.
I heard she's like quite important.
I think she's very mobile and very tanky still.
Yeah,
So
she has that silly shield.
what's it called? Displacement matrix?
I do not know.
I think it might be.
We have that mine, but once again, the Oracle avoids the mine. Reaper could potentially pick that probe. Oh, that would have been a very nice little pickoff. One of the most annoying probes to lose, the one that you stand out to go up to 3 bases. They're going up to 3 bases 4 minutes and 10 seconds into this game.
Greedy man.
That is very early. He's going to take both of his gases in his natural as well.
As long as he holds off the Liberator pressure, etc., I think he can get away with it. Oh. Okay, the Oracle's fine.
Hasn't really taken any damage at all. Maru is just not even moved out once.
No. And we're getting to that point with the worker count, though. It's like how it kind of should have been in the last game, where it's like you're 10, 12 workers ahead as Dia. But in the prior game, it just kind of didn't exist.
Yeah, last game it was way too close. Also, Deer waited for quite some time going up to 3 bases. It almost seems like maybe Deer just wants to play some good old Stalker Blink here. And not rush into Colossus. Maybe he's worried about another Raven push. He's probably like, what the hell was that?
Yeah, it was powerful stuff in the end. As we witnessed, 3 Stalkers at the front with 3 Adepts and 2 Oracles.
That's actually an army you already have to start respecting quite a bit.
Yeah.
Maru sends out a single Marine and he just gets pulverized by Pulsar Beam.
Poor little fella.
Crushed. Nothing left, that little Marine.
That's right. Utterly decimated.
I think there's a matter of fact. He just flew out. That one tank is actually quite a bit exposed. Marines do get good focus fire though. Pick up the tank. Ah, he could have picked up the tank or at least maybe repair the tank. There are a couple. No, they're mine. Actually, the Oracle getting suicide as well. But in the end, this is not bad for Maru. I feel that Dia lost quite a few expensive units. Maru doesn't want to lose the mines though. He has to save the mines. And he has a tank to fall back on as well. One more Stalker falls. Well, I'm quite impressed.
Yeah, that was a very surprising fight. I wasn't expecting Dia to quite take that the way
Not
he
often
did.
do you see the Kamikaze Oracle.
No, you don't.
Circle around the Nexus. Damn, that feels like a really big circle already.
That's a big circle, yeah. Gonna have to run away from the big
Gonna
circle.
get one more. I could have got one more.
Yeah. I think he didn't realize it was in the assimilator there for a second.
This is actually very nice. Just keeping it here. You know the most annoying thing about this is that if Terran eventually runs across the map, right, to apply pressure to your natural or third base and they want to all in, the way the Protoss players normally deal with this is to buy time with their Blink Stalkers. You know, they shave off a Marine one at a time. But if you have to leave a couple of your Stalkers at home to deal with that last Liberator, I'm actually kind of sad that Maru just decided to fly in again. I wish he would have just kept it in that corner, because then you forced Deer to keep Stalkers in the corner. Otherwise, he's going to end up losing. I guess he was maybe distracting him. Did he mind drop here as well? Yeah, he must have, because 5 probes did go down. Oh well. maybe
52
one.
to 51.
Then it makes a little bit of sense, but I still would have loved to see that Liberator just stay there.
3 Stalkers still are poised outside here whilst charges on the way. And, well, Maru, for all intents and purposes,
Yeah, 5 racks.
he's in a good spot.
These pushes are gnarly. These
Yup.
pushes are very, very, very hard. And I mean, you +1 armor, I think, on the Zealots is essential. But it's also essential that the Stalkers buy time against the push.
Right.
And that's why I would have loved to see that Liberator stick around in the back. But these Stalkers need to be out there. These Stalkers need to buy a little bit of time, because right now the army of Maru is way stronger than the army of Deer.
Yep, and that little army, is it full Stalkers? I don't think it is, right? I think it's... Oh, okay, it is full Stalkers out on the map.
Yeah, well, you know, it's actually kind of a cool play. If you just like stick around here all the time, you try to cut off reinforcements, you go into the natural, you kill a bunch of SCVs, and then you can recall your Stalkers as well.
Well, some SCVs will die very soon, because
But
the boys are pulled again.
the best thing that Maru can do is just not respect this at all. Can we take a look at the Stalkers in the natural real quick? A couple of Marauders left behind, actually enough.
Nice.
Now Deer is in a lot of trouble, because he desperately needs those Stalkers at home as well. I mean, Zealots are good, but against 4 or 5 mines, I guess it all depends. Once again, the boys are being pulled. Where are the Marines, by the way? It feels like this army of Maru is still small.
Yeah, it's with Marauders for the most part here. Some siege tanks to the back as well, right on top of those mines. So they're going to take some friendly fire, some splash damage. He's kept a lot of their Zealots back whilst those Marauders are going to get triggered. Here come the Stalkers from the back as well, blinking to safety to help out the Zealots.
But here come the reinforcements for Maru, and I think that Maru's got enough. He's going to attack the Immortal. He's going to take the Stalkers down, and Maru is looking like he is about to do it. Few more Zealots going to get warped in, but Maru's got more reinforcements coming in.
Yeah, he definitely does here. The Probe's going to be pulled off the line as well. Just needs to protect these Zealots as well as much as possible. Probe's going to go back to safety for a moment. He needs another Zealot warp in. Are those High Templars?
Yeah, but I mean, now you should just go for it if you're Maru.
Yeah.
Don't let these Archons finish. Just go. Start killing Probes, start killing these Zealots as well. Stalkers alone are not ready to deal with all these Marauders. And, you know, even now he goes up against these Archons. He can just split his units and, you know, shoot at these Archons from very far away.
Try and do what he can. Needs more reinforcements. Look at that stream of blue coming down the mini-map at the moment here. And he needs a few more Zealots to complement this with.
Deer losing 14 probes, so it's very bad, especially because his army is going to get kited over and over again. Maru is going to bring a few more boys against these Archons. I am not sure how worth it is, but...
Zealots stuck at the back there, not really doing too much, but now they filter on through. The 2 Archons have gone down. These Zealots are going to be kited for as long as possible. Still a little bit of energy on these medevacs here as more reinforcements come along. It's only Stalkers left, Roddy.
That's all he wrote, I think, for Deer here, and we are going to game 5 once again. Maru with the good old 5 racks gonna take that pylon as well. His single High Templar is like, oh, what can I do? I guess I can feedback that Immortal's gonna get attacked again by these concussive shells. And Maru gonna send us to game 5. There's no other way, James.
Yeah, looks like it here. More Zealots desperately getting walked on in, but it's not really gonna help at all as these Stalkers up to the top right. As the Zealots get countered and just kited, picked up and gets out.
It's 73 army supply against 12.
Yes.
Yai.
Oh no. Well.
Look at this army. Bunch of Stalkers being wiped in. Stalkers actually not ready yet, so 2-3 Stalkers die. If things weren't bad enough yet for Deer, but Deer knows that this one is over as well. Perhaps he was hoping that Maru was super broke, but Maru's not all that broke. I mean, yes, he lost a lot of STBs, but he's got mules at home.
GG.
And besides mules, he's got a very big army. James, you and I, we both said it. If anyone can do it,
it's Maru.
And here we are. We've had 3 best of 5s today, guys. And all 3 of them went to game 5.
Thank you.
Well.
As we go into the wee hours of the morning. But that's what we're here for. We're here to bring you StarCraft.
That was an awesome game.
It was good.
Very just decent or very beautiful execution, actually, by Maru. Clean. Got a little bit of damage done early on. Loved the way that he left a couple of Marauders behind as well, because it was clear that Deer was trying to buy time, trying to cut off the reinforcements. And then Maru was like, well, if you want to fight my 4 Marauders, that's fine. And then he was like, no. And then he was like, yes. And he's like, oh, damn it, I guess I'll go all the way back down. Maybe I can fight his army. And for a split second, I was really worried, because with mines, you never know, right? Like, and Deer also blinked a Stalker next to the 2 tanks, and the mines were all there. And if those mines shoot at the Stalker and they blow up the 2 tanks, I was like, oh my god, that could have been the end. But it played out well for Maru. Good focused fire, and well done.
What do you think about the initial attack, though, by Deer? With
Yeah,
I
the
wasn't
one with the
expecting it.
oracles, I thought that was a little bit too YOLO. I don't think
Yeah.
it was necessary at all, especially because he went up to 3 bases so fast, and he was in a good economic position. So, I mean, we saw him straight up flying an oracle over Marines to trigger a mine. It's like, yeah, those are things that I do as well, and you know, it's like you think it's really smart, but then you lose your oracle and you do like 40 damage on the Marine. And you're like,
Yeah.
I guess that wasn't worth it. Maybe if the second tank wasn't there, he could have done a lot, because he did get the first tank very quickly. But yeah, I
Maybe.
don't know. It didn't really seem like it was worth it.
Yeah, maybe. All right, well, let's get into it. Game number 5. This is guaranteed the final game of the night. Now, as one of these players will go to the Intel Extreme Masters Katowice, up to the top left in the red, it is Dia.
What a man. And on the right bottom side of Odyssey, we're looking in the main base, representing Jin Air Green Wings. It is Maru. Should have added the blue Terran.
Yeah,
Would have made the sentence flow a little better. Yeah.
it's fine.
All right, Odyssey is maybe not the worst map for Maru out there. Of course, gold bases can make this map a little bit tricky, but it's not something you'll see super early on. But some Protoss players, they've like Zest in the past have played some very heavy Zealot styles on this map, where you stay on only 2 or 3 gases and you stick to gold and make 1,000,000 Zealots, 1,000,000 gateways.
It's actually 1,000,000, just straight up.
Yeah, it's a lot of supply.
It's
You
a
need a
lot.
very good computer to assess on Odyssey.
Yeah. if you don't have those Google-like PC simulation PCs, then you're screwed.
I'm excited to play some ladder games, actually.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I won't be able to, since we're going to go straight to Leipzig. But as soon as I'm going to come home, I'm going to go to bed early on Sunday morning. I'm just telling you, because I want to be fresh for Monday. Fly home, not feel tired and exhausted like an old man. Like, no, just get ready
Get the stream going.
to play some video games.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like that. Sounds
The
good.
new maps, I've played like maybe 5, 6 games on each of them. They actually seemed really good. I'm pumped.
Abiogenesis, I was looking at that just before.
Yeah.
Looks okay.
Yeah, the maps are funky. There's Backwater, Eastwatch, and I have no idea.
The Abiogenesis one. That's
Yeah, and then one more, a very big one.
Is there? Is there
Yeah,
a
yeah.
fourth?
There's
Is there
4
four?
new maps.
Bloody hell.
There's one very big one, but I forgot which one it is. I mean, yeah, that's the one that I don't know. I know the other 3.
Okay.
I actually had some sick games on the big map. It's I played a PvP that lasted like 28 minutes with motherships, carriers, templates. That was cool.
It's a long game.
Yeah, it was intense. Kalaris. For a game like that, this old man always needs to break. It's like, woo! All right. Have to stretch the legs. All right, very important game here, of course, guys. I think it's a very good chance that even, you know, if Deer or Maru doesn't win here, we're still going to see them at the Intel Extreme Masters World Championships, just
Yeah.
trying to make their way through the open bracket. These guys are both so incredibly good. They have both shined before on the biggest stage. But obviously, getting seeded directly into the group stage would be very nice. They're not going to be the only Koreans in that open bracket. We've seen it last year where you have 4 of those open brackets. A couple of them were really quite stacked.
Yep.
Just making it into the group stage here is going to be quite hard. And, you know, players like Kalazur, players like Neeb that we didn't see in action today, they will be playing in that open bracket as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Nobody wants to pass up the opportunity to play when the prize pool is something like $400,000.
And you're going to see a lot of like these good Europeans that are not super known yet, or these good Europeans that didn't have too many tournament results just yet.
I think for me, like, those are the 2 landmark events for the year for StarCraft II. It's you got your BlizzCon, which is basically one of the only tournaments that rivals something like that kind of prize pool, and then you've got the Intel Extreme Masters Katowice. And those 2, the separation of them especially, it's like almost perfect for the year.
One is early in the year, and one is kind of the end.
Yeah, it's good.
But at the same time, they're not super close. Still 4 months in between, I guess.
Yep, yep.
Deer is warping in a lot of stalkers already. This Reaper gets a pretty good scout off. I mean, what a... is this a 4-gate opening?
It was 4 gates, yes.
Kind of odd. I mean, that's 1 more gate than he had in the previous game. That bunker isn't done yet. There is a Widowmine, though. Stalker is trying to delay this a little bit. Damn. I mean, there is a tank on the way, so I'm
Hello.
surprised that Deer feels he needs to play this aggressive. Oh, he's going to pick up the Stalker as well with the War Prism. Well done, Deer. Now he's going to go for the main. risky though. I
Yeah.
think Deer needs to transition. You know, I am not the biggest fan ever of these kind of openings. Like, I understand that you can sometimes straight up win a game with it if your opponent isn't ready. But if they are ready, and players like Maru are very often going to be ready,
Yeah.
I feel like you just delayed your Twilight. You just delayed your Forge. And I guess if your follow-up is you're going to take the gold, then maybe you can get away with that. But
Maybe.
do you think he's still going to... Do you think he might go... I think he might go Blink before Charge here. He's
I
definitely
think-
going to get both.
Yeah, I
But-
think he does.
But I think this is still Blink before Charge.
Just to continue being irritating, I suppose. He had Sentry available just in case.
I don't get this. I think he's trying to... Oh, the interference
pick up.
matrix! Now he can't pick up!
Oh my god.
Oh, Maru with the plays, but Warp Prism pick up range! Oh my god, it just... Oh, that's so sad. That was a beautiful play by Maru.
He deserved to kill it.
Yep.
He definitely did.
This observer should not fly in. There was just a Raven saying hello to you, dear. I think Deer is started. Oh, Maru and Deer both making some mistakes, but Maru does get the observer in the end. It's actually Charge before Blink, so Deer feels that he's going to be under pressure and that he really needs Charge. Charge is, of course, way better to harass and way better in the straight-up fight. But, you know, Blink is good in controlling the map, shutting down a drop, picking off units one by one if they are marching across the map.
Yeah.
And don't forget that Maru does not even necessarily know about the gold.
I can't believe the Ravens are going to potentially be MVP here for Maru if he's able to triumph in this whole series. It's been some great plays with it. Really good plays. Gold base now being saturated though here for Deer on the other side, and Maru has no inkling of this.
So Deer is going to have a crazy amount of Zealots, but what he won't have is sick upgrades. I mean, he will probably, when they fight, have +1 armor, as that's about to finish up, but I don't think he's going to get +1 attack in time, or +2 armor for that matter. He will have Archons, but basically his entire army, it feels like it's very kiteable. And a lot of people often feel like, well, Protoss can just get a couple of force fields right. In an ideal world, yes, but force fields can also really work against Zealots, right? It just depends a little bit how open or how closed off the area is. I think at choke points, force fields are always great. But, you know, in the middle of Odyssey, dropping a couple of force fields often does more harm than good.
That previous graph represented the future of the Bitcoin market. Nice and up and down. Who knows what could happen at this point. As we will have...
Do you have any cryptocurrency, James?
I do not, but I have a lot of friends that do. And they were slightly worried a few days ago. But that's a lot of boys. Oof. That's a lot of boys.
He's going to go for it once again. I kind of feel that maybe Charge, or excuse me, Blink would have been better before, because then he could have bought a little bit of time. But the Archons, though, the Archons are going to make a very big difference. Guardian Shield is very important as well. I actually think that the army sizes is too close. Maru is going to have to kite his absolute heart out. But there are Immortals in the mix as well. These tanks are just going to get picked off.
Yeah, he was on a siege tank straight away before he was able to do anything. Interference Matrix on 2 of the Immortals at the front, but I don't know if it's going to matter that much here as it's constantly being kited back. There's 2 Widow Mines at the front, though. Connect with a few of the units at the front. One of the Archons already died off there. Going to warp in some more units with that Warp Prism at the front. But all the Zealots are gone. This Bio could continue to get through this.
That Warp Prism is helping out so much. He's just streaming in Zealot after Zealot. Don't forget that Deer has the gold base, and Maru just pulled his STVs, so he doesn't have a lot of reinforcements. He does get 1 Immortal finally, but 2 Immortals stay strong. Maru, that was great, but he needs more. Even though, I mean, if he would have been able to take out all the Immortals, then I truly believe in the kiting power. Don't forget that there is still no Blink for Deer. Yeah, but Maru has 29 STVs.
Yeah, that's a lot of power here. I think now he realizes the gold base
Yeah, he
is there.
scouted it with an STV.
So now
He fights 2 High Templars. That's a very just pick up. The pilot!
There's another one up at the top.
Yeah,
He stops that warp in to start things off, but the reinforcements are not going to come back.
Rico is coming. Yeah, Rico is coming.
Run away.
Okay, Maru can still make this happen, James. It's 63 army supply against 63. His army's obviously hurt, but he's starting to deny some mining of the gold. Ooh, these Zealots are starting to do quite a bit of damage there. Where's the rest of the army, Maru? You technically have a lot of supply. Look at this man kite. Tournament live on the line.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to have to if he wants that all-expenses paid trip, as well as that guaranteed placement in the group stages at the moment.
Where's that prison? Well, that prison was super MVP. What is he going to run into? A couple Stalkers and an Immortal. Oh, that's actually a very big army.
This army's huge now for Dia on either side.
Maru's like, please don't have Blink. Please don't have Blink.
Going to go into the main base, maybe those, whilst the other ones hit the gold.
On power, a couple of gateways, perhaps.
Something good.
Oh, this is bad.
Run away.
be very careful there. I could maybe drop a couple of these mines. And getting the Cybercore is quite nice. That means no additional stalkers, but then again, who needs stalkers if you got Zealots? There is like, what up? I'm enjoying this. I'm still up 20 workers.
Charge wants to do what they can.
And now I'm actually up 20 supply. I think there is a mine in that. No, it's a Marauder.
I feel like at this point, if you pull that many boys and you're not able to get the damage done just then, it's do or die. And right now, trying to make a meal of it for Diaz in the driving seat.
I mean, as long as there is no blink, I always feel there's a tiny bit of hope because you can kite this army forever. This is a nice little drop by Maru. He got 11 workers, not bad at all.
Trying to hit maybe down towards the goal with the other one, and this one's rotating all the way up to the main. This is probably going to die.
I think if Maru sees how many units there are here in the main, I think he might just grab everything that he has, maybe pull a few more boys.
The gold.
Yeah, he needs to, if he kills the gold, I think Deer is in trouble. Deer has a lot of money though. If Deer just warps in like 7 more units here at the gold, I am not sure if Maru can ever defend this.
It's going to be difficult. It needs to be warped in from the warp prism though as we start things off.
Prism is going to actually die almost immediately. That's quite nice. Now Zealots are going to get kited once again. Maru, you madman. Is he actually making this happen? Oh, more Zealots coming in from the north. Perhaps not.
Yeah, that's a big army still here for Deer, and he did have that cybernetic score complete once again, so you can add on more stalkers if he needs them.
So many Zealots for Deer. He doesn't have attack upgrades though, so like Deer's army is very kiteable, and Deer's actually quite low in economy, but he does finally have Blink, and Blink can be a game changer.
Yeah, if there was ever a way for Maru to even things up, it was with that economical damage.
Oh, these armies are running into each other almost. I think Maru's going to go for a Doom Drop in the main.
Might have to
I think he has Liberators in the mix as well, right?
Do we have recall available in the main?
No, I think it was less than 2 minutes ago.
Yeah, I guess so.
What is the best pilot to go for? A couple of mines here in the mix as well. There is so many Zealots.
Not a good way in here for Maru. Down towards the bottom. He has to keep posing a threat on either flank. Down towards the bottom, up towards the top. Keep his opponent stretched. But Dia keeps having his forces everywhere. And actually, his army is really big now.
Yeah, it really feels like Dia's army is so much bigger than Maru. It's actually quite close in the numbers. But Dia right now brought both of his armies to crush this one force of Maru. Can Maru now make something happen with that army he still has on the north side? He's still microing as well.
He's got to be decisive. He had to have moved in earlier than this.
Maybe now he can pick up some units and go for the gold. I mean, Deer is taking another base during all of this. There are a couple of high Templars. I don't think Storm is available. But unfortunately for Maru, he can't get the job done. He is still kiting. He's still killing units. But the longer this goes on, the better it has to be for Deer, right?
Got to commend Deer with how well he's separated his armies up while this has been going on. It's been so back and forth from the north and the south.
+2 armor, very useful. As you can see, only these Zealots survive a lot longer. Maru left a single Marauder behind there. He's going to drop these units again on the low ground.
We're going to try and flee out. Stalker almost gets that. And now this army down towards the bottom, still holding this, but that's gathering momentum, though. That's quite a strong army.
Yeah, this is a very decent army, especially if the mine count goes up a little bit more. The gold has been mined out, by the way, but Dia does have that other base. I mean, when it comes to the Inca, oh my god, that's a very just pickup. Medevacs are expensive. Maru is starting to fall further and further and further behind. Even though Deer's worker count is not incredibly high, he's been enjoying that gold base for a long time. Can Maru make another miraculous hold? This seems like a bad engagement for Deer, though.
Yeah, it's a really weird angle to come in on.
But he has so many
going to try and do something about it, but the Immortals, as well as those Archons, pressing in like a sandwich on that Marauder army, and that's going to be able to be pushing that back. So many Stalkers now.
Yeah, a lot of STBs are going to fall as well. There's a good chance that his Orbital is going to fall. Maru is going to try to force some sort of a Weir's base rate, but he just lost almost half of the amount of workers that he has. Deer has warped in more and more and more Stalkers at home. Maru scans. He realizes that there is another base, and I think he realizes as well that he has to do something about that, or it is over.
Yeah, best of luck to him, but it's not going to be enough. GG, congratulations to Dia, who has qualified for the Intel Extreme Masters Katowice.
Poor Maru. Twice was he down 2-0. Twice did he bring it back to go to a deciding Game 5, but 2 times it wasn't enough in the end. And I actually feel like he played really quite well in that final game. It's just the first fight, he wasn't ready for the very first fight. He was walking in the middle of the map, and there is like, all right, I didn't build that many probes, I got a gold, Archon, Immortal, and he just jumped on those tanks. And it felt that Maru was running away from that fight technically till the game ended. You know, he was guiding his heart out. He was doing a really good job, but he's fighting an unfair battle just because Dia was so much richer.
Yeah, and that is going to be that. So congratulations to Dia, as we can take a look at the bracket to get you up to speed with everything that has gone on today and who has qualified. Our first qualifier was Elaser, who was able to take a 3-2 against Stats. All of our qualifying matches, in fact, went to a full best of 5. Maru didn't have the best of luck against Gumiho with that phenomenal TVT.
No, he was down 2-0, brought it back just like he did against Dia, but in the end it wasn't enough. I think we got 3 amazing players once again qualifying though. Gumiho and Elaser from the upper bracket, and then from the lower bracket we've got Dia for the perfect balance. Look at Dia as well. He took out TY, he took out Stats, and he took out Zest.
What a run.
We were talking about a lot yesterday about the run that Nerdshow had, but this is also quite the run from Dia himself. Zest, TY, Stats, and Maru.
I mean, think about it. Dia eliminated number 1 and number 2 from the Intel Extreme Masters Katowice 2017.
Yep.
Back to back.
So both the reigning champ and the defending champ are going to have to make their way through the open qualifiers.
Yep. There you go. That's how that works out. So congratulations to Dia, Gumiho, and Elaser, rounding out our qualifiers, going to the Intel Extreme Masters Katowice. What a couple of qualifiers it's been, Roddy. It's been really good.
Yeah, it's been fun to watch you guys cast it as well. I watched a little bit from home and really enjoyed being part of the European qualifier. Now, of course, well, the European server qualifier. I'm not sure about this late night shift that we had today, but still was fun. Feeling a little dead. Definitely need to catch up on some sleep before WCS Leipzig begins, but I enjoy the games a lot. Always a pleasure.
I don't get to do enough casting nowadays. It's all hosting for me.
We need you back.
I want to do more casting.
Who did this thing? Why are you a host, James?
I don't know.
Did you ever wave the flag saying that you're a host?
I brought it upon myself, and then I did some, and they were like, "You're all right at that," and I'm like, "No."
And we need more hosts. We have got enough casters apparently.
I've got to somehow sabotage myself, and then that will be working.
I am pretty sure the StarCraft community will take you back at any day.
Please, please, please. That would be fun stuff. All right, well, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in to the Intel Extreme Masters Katowice qualifiers. We are done for now. It's only a few weeks away. Of course, WCS Leipzig is coming up soon. Intel Extreme Masters Pyeongchang is coming up soon. And then we'll be on the road to Katowice. For now, it's bye from us here from the studio in Katowice, and I hope you have a good day.